the theme of our conference tonight is Generation Y Extremizing Life. When Mr. Menzeng approached me in my office and I asked him, what is that thing called extremizing life? And honestly, he said he himself was not sure of it. So let me try to share with you tonight what I think it is. Yeah? Well, what is Generation Y? Technically, it refers to those people born between 1980 to 1995. If you were to ask a lot of people what they think about Generation Y, at least society thinks that number one, some people think that this is Generation Y, the people who are very anti-tradition. We ask them to wear baju Melayu, we ask them to wear traditional clothes, but the pants are getting lower and the shirts are getting higher. Second, some people think that Generation Y is very techno-savvy, because if you look at this particular guy, he got handphones, internet, and many of the young people these days, they have more than one telephone. And if you have kids between these ages, sometimes they can spend hours and hours chatting with virtual friends, but they cannot carry any meaningful conversation with real humans. And as they talk, next, they use language such as laughing my ass off, laughing out loud, how are you, parents on my shoulders, be right back, let's meet in person, talk to you later, age, statistics, location, mind your own business. And to a lot of generation before Y, they have no clues what Generation Y is talking about. Next, some people think that Generation Y members are really stupid because they are clueless about a lot of things. Next, some people think that Generation Y seem to be not bothered by things. Okay? That adults think. Why? Because adults think about global warming, adults think about economic slowdown in 2009, but it seems like Generation Y is not interested in it. Next. A lot of adults think that Generation Y is very self-centered. It's me, I, and I all the time. Next, we talked about some of that earlier. Okay, a lot of generation before Y are very concerned about this new culture of Generation Y. Mom, I want to have sex now. Right? Mom, I want to be driving a BMW, I want to be driving BMW kind of now. They are so present-oriented when adults want us to be future-oriented. Next. A lot of people think that Generation Y is very materialistic. This is the only generation, if you have been teachers for a few years, they come to school Monday, hair is going this way. They come to school on Tuesday, hair is going upward. They come to school on Wednesday, it's blue and purple. Everything is focused on the material aspect of it. Next. Okay, some people think that Generation Y is very clueless. And the last one is a lot of adults express their concerns that Generation Y is taking too much risk. So ladies and gentlemen, what is Generation Y? The second part of our theme is extremizing life. Now, I don't want to focus to this because I'm going to do all just talking without pictures. Just stay that pictures over there. If I were to summarize Generation Y, if I were to summarize the modern life, the biggest challenge of all is that life these days is full of extremes. Life these days has dichotomies. Life these days have divisions. We have past, we have unknown. We have MCA, we have DAP. We have Butler, we have Anwar. Life seems to have a lot of extremes. Dubai is glittering with wealth and richness. Africa is glooming with poverty and starvation. Australia is burning hot with fire. New York City is buried under snow. It is hot, dry in Kelantan. It is flash flooded in Jalan Duta, Kuala Lumpur. There are monks meditating with silence on the top of the mountains. At the same time, we have kids dancing to the loud techno music in clubs in Bukit Bintang. So Generation Y is full of these extremes. On one hand, you are asked to learn and practice and believe in your traditions, because adults are telling you that without traditions, you are forever lost. However, you are living in this modern life. Modern life would like you to embrace modernity. Modernity is asking you to push away tradition. There you have tradition clashes with modernity. Number two, you are required to deeply think about the future. Adults tell you that you got to think about the future, but you turn around everywhere. The thing that symbolizes our life today is McDonald's. Why McDonald's? Because people don't want to wait to have their meal. So everything about life is about what? About now, 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 now. Therefore, you have present focus clashes with future orientedness. Third, you are required to be selfless. You are required to be like Mother Teresa, because you are required to empathize the pain and the agony of other people. However, if you look around, it seems like modern life is very, very, very selfish. Crime is everywhere. Our marriage is getting shorter and shorter because divorce is becoming more common. When Bukit Antarabangsa collapses and slides, nobody seems to care. When Nurin Jazlin died in such a horrible way, we seems not to care. Where is Adik Shalini today? He still seems not to care. Therefore, selflessness and selfishness clash again. You are required to stay away from risky behavior. Okay? One of the previous speakers said, focus your PMR, focus on your SPM, get a job and stay away from sex, isn't it? Yeah. Right? But everywhere you turn these days, people are living in a very risk-taking behavior. That is Generation Y. Okay? That is the two extremes of life.